Today, an announcement that is already sending shockwaves across households, senior communities, and family kitchens everywhere. After months of speculation, delays, and heated debate, confirmation has arrived. A new wave of stimulus payments is being deposited, amounting to as much as $3,400 for qualifying individuals. The agency responsible, the Social Security Administration, has confirmed that deposits will begin rolling out in the coming days, marking one of the largest financial boosts in recent memory. This is not just another line in a government press release. For millions of seniors living on fixed incomes, for working families caught between rising grocery bills and skyrocketing rents, and for caregivers struggling to afford prescription medicine, this is a lifeline, one that many feared might never come. To understand why today's development matters so deeply, we need to rewind. For over a year, Canadians and Americans alike have been grappling with the relentless rise in the cost of living. Inflation has cut through retirement savings like a knife. A simple basket of groceries that cost $80 not long ago now pushes past $120. Essential medications, heart pills, insulin, blood pressure treatments, strain budgets to the breaking point. For retirees on a fixed monthly benefit, every increase in the price of eggs, bread, or gasoline feels like an assault on dignity. It was against this backdrop that advocacy groups began calling for urgent government intervention. Seniors organizations warned of a growing crisis of poverty among older adults, with some estimating that 1 in 5 retirees were skipping meals to cover housing. Family associations told stories of parents taking on second jobs, while adult children moved back home, not out of choice but necessity. The pressure built, month after month. Petitions gathered hundreds of thousands of signatures. Lawmakers faced angry calls from their constituents. For prime ministers and presidents alike, the question became unavoidable: would there be a new financial relief package, and if so, who would benefit? The breakthrough finally came after intense behind-the-scenes negotiations. Sources describe officials weighing the costs of such a large program against the cost of inaction, the potential collapse of trust in social safety nets. The result: a one-time stimulus payment of up to $3,400, distributed directly through the Social Security Administration's payment system. The deposits, officials have confirmed, are already scheduled. But how will this money be used? For some, it means catching up on overdue utility bills before the cold months arrive. For others, it means finally being able to replace worn-out winter coats for their children, or stocking the pantry with more than just the cheapest items on the shelf. Imagine a senior couple in Calgary, struggling on $1,800 a month in combined benefits. After rent and medicine, barely $200 remains for food. For them, this payment means an entire month of breathing room. A chance to buy fresh fruit, meat, and maybe even share a meal out, something they have not done in years. Supporters of the decision say this is precisely what government should do in times of economic strain: step in and give people back the means to live with dignity. Economists sympathetic to the move argue that, in addition to easing individual hardship, these payments will also ripple through local economies. Small businesses, from corner grocery stores to pharmacies, stand to benefit as people finally have money to spend again. Critics, however, warn of unintended consequences. Some financial analysts caution that injecting billions into the economy at once could drive prices higher still, worsening the very inflation the payments aim to relieve. Others question whether this is sustainable. A one-time boost may help today, they argue, but what about next month, or the one after that? Seniors will still face rent, medicine, and grocery bills long after the $3,400 is gone. And then, there are the political voices. Opposition leaders accuse the government of using stimulus checks as a temporary distraction from deeper economic failings. They argue that what is needed is structural reform, stronger pensions, expanded healthcare coverage, and permanent protections against runaway housing costs. Yet even among critics, there is little denial that for households on the brink right now, the relief cannot come soon enough. The official distribution schedule outlines that deposits will land directly into bank accounts connected to existing Social Security benefits. Most recipients will not need to apply, the funds will appear automatically, as long as their banking information is up to date. Paper checks will also be issued in certain cases, though officials warn these could take longer to arrive. The exact timing may vary, but confirmation has made one thing clear. The first transfers are imminent. The public response has been overwhelming. Banks report an unusual surge in inquiries from seniors asking when their deposits will show. Online forums are filled with speculation and personal stories of how the money will be spent. Some speak of paying overdue property taxes. Others dream of small luxuries, visiting grandchildren, repairing a broken appliance, or simply knowing that for the first time in months, they can fall asleep without the fear of running out of money. Yet beyond the numbers and policies, this moment is about something greater, reassurance. After years of economic turbulence, of promises delayed and hopes repeatedly crushed, this payment signals that, for once, the system did not look away. That the struggles of ordinary people were seen, heard, and, at least for now, addressed. Still, the larger questions remain. Will this one-time infusion be enough to restore trust in a system under strain? Can temporary relief spark lasting solutions? Or will families once again find themselves back at the edge when the payments run dry? These are the debates already underway in legislatures, universities, and living rooms across the country. What is certain is that in the days ahead, millions of Canadians and Americans will refresh their bank accounts with an anticipation not felt in years. And when the deposit appears, $3,400 for some, less for others, it will mean more than just numbers on a screen. It will mean full refrigerators, filled prescriptions, paid rent, and one more month of security. For the grandmother who has rationed her insulin. For the young family who has lived on credit cards since the spring. For the retiree who feared the heating bill more than the winter cold itself. This is not just money. It is relief. It is dignity. It is hope, restored, if only briefly, by the weight of a deposit that finally arrived. And perhaps that is the greatest message of all. In a time when headlines so often divide and discourage, the arrival of these payments is a reminder that policy can still touch real lives in immediate, tangible ways. As the deposits begin to roll out, one truth becomes clear: this moment will be remembered not just for the dollars distributed, but for the millions of lives steadied, however temporarily, by their arrival. And what happens after will depend on whether leaders see this not as the end of the story, but as the beginning of a new chapter in how we protect the most vulnerable among us.